Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill the Small Talk, and I'm your host, Alex Caron. On this podcast, I bring in guests from all walks of the entertainment industry, and we get down to the nuts and bolts. On this episode, I talk to my very good friend, MJ LaVine. She's a musician, composer, and a big-time nerd. Here is the interview. Enjoy. Hi, MJ. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Where do we find you? Where are you? Where are you?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm at my home studio today.
That's very nice. It's a great setup. Anyways, okay. No more Blink 182.
Ever?
Not entirely. MJ, I was just listening to your EP, which I've listened to before, but I was re-listening to it on my way up here. And I thought it was great. I really liked the what is it called? It's called Here in My Bedroom, correct? The EP is called Here in My Bedroom.
That's my second EP, yes.
Second EP. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
And then you have 5 songs on it. Two of my favorites were was Concrete and Let You Go.
Thank you. Those are very fun songs to write.
Okay, so on Concrete, because so you're obviously you're a musician and you play what instruments do you play?
Anything I can get my hands onto, really. I specialize in string instruments, primarily guitar and violin, but I can play bass, I can play cello. I fake it at cello. I'm not a real cello player.
That's
piano.
Not true. I've heard you play cello before.
I fake it. Again, I fake it. But yeah, piano. I started learning. I can do very, very, very basic stuff on drums, but I am not a drummer by any sense of the means. I can write for drums, but I cannot. My body coordination isn't that great.
My mom always used to tell me that I was not a great multitasker, so I became a drummer. I was like, okay. How about that? Using all 4 limbs at the same time.
Yeah, and sometimes in different time signatures, right?
Exactly. So the reason why I asked is because on Concrete, correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear cellos and like violins.
Yeah, so I wrote I made a mistake when I uploaded that. It should say Concrete Acoustic in parentheses. Because there's an acoustic version and there's a full rock band version, which I released later.
Gotcha.
But the acoustic version I came up with during the pandemic. And I was like, it'd be fun to reimagine this song with a string quartet. So on that track, I'm playing everything except for the viola. I
was just about to ask.
Yeah, I played the guitars. Obviously, I sang cello, violins 1 and 2, but then my friend Chris Rahamid is a phenomenal viola player, and I love him to death. He's like my brother. We met at CalArts. He was one of the first people I worked with at CalArts, and I was like, "Hey, can you come in and bless me with some viola on this track?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he's phenomenal. He's great, and one of the main reasons I asked him is because, one, I am not a viola player, and despite what people think, viola and violin are not the same. Like, it's totally different mechanics.
What is the difference? They're obviously both string instruments.
You have your strings. On a violin, from low to high, it's G, D, A, E. On a viola, it's C, G, D, A. And also, it's just a bigger instrument. So, like, the weight of your arm and, like, the movement of your left hand is slightly different. So, a violin player could fake it on a viola, and a viola can fake it on a violin, but they are completely different instruments. And also, I don't own a viola. So it's like, Chris, can you please help me? Because you're amazing and I love you. And I would love to have you on this track. And he thankfully obliged. And we had so much fun recording it. And yeah,
that's amazing. Where did you guys record at?
So my friend Bill Buffa, he at the time had this awesome house that he basically set up to be a recording studio. So we recorded it at his house. He engineered that that record, but then Andrew came in and finished mixing and
Mixed it.
mastering it. Yeah.
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 Who was that singing on the first song?
That is actually Bill.
That has been.
Yeah. So
I was like, wait, that doesn't sound like MJ.
No, that's definitely not me. So at the time that EP was recorded, my band was Bill Buffa, Andrew Butler, and Scotty Van Salter, or Scotty V. He prefers to be called Scotty V. And so Scotty was on bass, Andrew's on drums, and Bill was singing backups and playing guitar. Since then, like, my band has fluctuated and members have come and gone. Yeah. Like it happens. But at the time of the recording of that EP, that was probably like my favorite iteration of MJ LaVine with that band. Because we just had such a great gel, especially when we were playing live.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing you guys, me and my buddy Marcelo, who you know, we saw you guys play at Harvard and Stone in East Hollywood, which was, fun fact, I used to live literally right down the street from that venue, and I used to walk there and go hang out and see shows, which, I love that. I love that place. It's
a fun venue. I would definitely love to go back and play there again sometime soon.
And the stage is high. It's
the stage
really
is so high. I'm so glad I decided to wear pants for that show. Otherwise, I'd be giving everybody like a free show.
I mean, they do burlesque there.
Yeah, but like, I'm not getting paid for that.
It'd be a 2-in-1 show.
Nobody needs to be seeing my hoo-ha.
I felt like it was like it felt taller, even more so than the whiskey stage.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's just me.
I think because if I remember right, that stage like comes up to here on me, so it's like a 4.5-foot stage. I want to say. So
yeah. Okay, let's go back to the beginning though. So you're from Chicago.
I am from Chicago.
Born and raised?
Yes. Well, I grew up in the burbs, so I actually have not spent a whole lot of time in downtown Chicago. I grew up in the burbs, but for everybody outside of Illinois, it's Chicago.
Yeah. I get you. Whenever I travel, I never say I'm from Downey because people have no idea what that is. They're like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. But I go, yeah, I'm from LA. So you're from Chicago. And Chicago is a very well-known city for music, especially blues. Now, did that environment affect your music playing, or was it like your family, or was it a little bit of both?
Well, that's a really good question, because my love of music definitely comes from my dad. Like, he used to play music for me all the time and exposed me to a lot of different bands. Paul Simon, John Prine, the Beatles. Like, we used to listen to, it was called Oldies 104.3 all the time. That station is no longer in existence in Chicago. You have to like pay for satellite radio to get it.
Yeah.
But it played like all the hits from like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. I grew up on that. And my older sister, she loved Blink-182. She still does. She loves Blink-182. And, you know, back in the day, I'm a child of the 90s. So, you know, burning CDs was a big thing back then.
Yeah, I remember doing
that. And my dad had this awesome stereo set up in our living room, and it was really loud. Like, my sister would blast her music on there. And that's what exposed me to like Blink-182, Sum 41, Eminem, you know, a bunch of more modern music, because I also love classical music.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I'm a big, big nerd. But
couldn't tell.
All Killer No Filler came out. My sister started playing that CD on our stereo, and I'm like, what is this? and I just latched onto it. And, you know, to this day, Sum 41 is still one of my favorite bands of all time. Like, I still love Blink-182, and obviously I'm wearing a My Chemical Romance shirt. I love them as well. But, yeah, I would say my family was a big inspiration for the music that I listen to today. I used to also just sit up in my room and listen to the radio and just burn CDs and listen to the radio. I had a tape deck that I would record songs off the radio that I really liked, and I would listen back to them all the time. One thing that I did when I was really young was if I found lyrics that I really like, I would actually like transcribe the lyrics by hand as I was listening to it to really study the lyrics.
I used to do that with movie scripts or like movies. I would watch the movie and then pause it and then write down quickly what I like just remembered, or just like copy straight from the subtitles. I had I have no idea why I did it. I just that was the thing I like to do.
Yeah. It's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. And okay, so you love Sum 41. You've told me this story before, but I want our listeners to hear it because it's such a great story. So MJ and I currently work together at Studio Instrument Rentals, which is a music rental company, rehearsal studios that's been around since the late 60s. Everyone and their grandmother in the music industry pretty much knows who they are. And MJ and I met a couple years ago on the job, and because of the environment, we do deliveries and drop-offs and pickups to different venues and residences, and we drop off instruments. And you met Sum 41 because of that.
Yes. Yeah. I insanely lucky. So everybody at SIR kind of knows that I'm a little obsessed with Sum 41.
A little?
And so Julian was dispatching, and he was like, there's a delivery for Sum 41 tomorrow. I'm going to give it to you. And I'm like, what? Okay. And so I drive. They were shooting a music video in the Valley. It was the Rise Up music video. And so I drive, their back line out there, and the producer meets me in the lot, and he's helping me take the stuff off the truck. And I'm like, I'm a huge Sum 41 fan. I love these guys. So when we found out we were delivering for you, like my dispatchers were like, oh, MJ has to go. She has to go. And and the producer was like, do you want to be in the video? You want to stay and hang out? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. Let me just make a phone call really quick. So I got to work on that music video with them for 2 days, and I actually became friends with that producer. Like I still text him from time to time, and really sweet guy. I met his wife and his kid. Got to meet and hang out with the band as well. I've hung out with a couple of those guys a few times now, like at different events.
Yeah.
And they're always super sweet, really nice people. It was such a blast to get to work with them on that video. Derek was really kind to me. Like I got to have my nerdy moment and be like, this tattoo on my arm is one of your songs. And he's like, holy shit. And even the next day, like he didn't have to do this, but like I was just hanging out on set because they're like, yeah, at this point, like you're not just an extra, like you've been helping us throughout the shoot, like, hang out.
That's awesome.
Derek was walking onto set, and he didn't have to do this, but he was like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. How are you doing? And he was like, good. And like actually was looking me in the eyes and went out of his way to ask me how I was doing. Like he didn't
Derek is the singer, guitarist?
He's the lead singer, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. This might be like super like nerdy of me to say, but like
say it.
The more I get to know about him just through his book and through his music and the few interactions that I've had with him, I'm like, I feel like you and I would be really good friends if we got the chance to hang out. So putting that out in the universe, I would love to be friends with Derek and write some music.
You're pretty much there. You're in the know. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. I love that story. That's like the equivalent of me like there's like a Black Keys delivery, and they're like, Alex, we know you love the, go drop it off, and then I meet them. They're like, hey, come be in our music video.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. That's such a great story. Um, and so okay, so you go to school. You know, Chicago's your home. Get older. What made you decide to come out to LA and study music?
So I, I'm really, really weird. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to be a musician, that I had to be a musician. And a
Yeah,
part of that was there's this film, it's an animation called Treasure Planet.
I know that
And
one.
yeah, it's a beautiful film. But the score in it is written by James Newton Howard. And that score made me want to become a film composer. And so when I was going through my undergrad,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, I had the mentality of I'm going to be a composer. So every step that I made, every choice that I made was to get out here.
Yeah, right.
Because I was like, I got to score films. I got to score films. Um, and like, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Films, LA
Yes,
school.
yes. Um, that film came out when I was in junior high,
Yeah.
and I knew that then. And I always knew that I wanted to be a musician, but I wasn't sure what that looked like for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then Treasure Planet came out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a film score. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And so I moved out here, went to CalArts for my master's, and I scored a bunch of animations and things like that. But when I was at CalArts, that's when I learned, like, I didn't realize how special it was that even when I journal, I write in song form.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I had always written songs and it always came fairly easily to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize how special that was until I got to CalArts and, professors and other colleagues started pointing out, like, that's not normal. Like, what you're doing is not normal. Normal people don't do that.
Yeah.
And I entered like a songwriting competition at school. I didn't win, but like it really opened up the fact that I'm like, I'm a songwriter and a rock musician, and I love playing pop punk, and this is who I am. It really
Mm-hmm.
solidified that for me and helped me to pursue that. Um, and that's kind of like I was still doing the film scoring thing, but that's really when that switch happened for me that I was like, this is what you've always wanted. You've always wanted to be a pop punk musician,
Mm-hmm.
but you never had the guts to actually say that out loud because you thought there was never a chance in hell of that happening.
Yeah.
So
So you were having
I
these thoughts in college when you were going to CalArts?
I always imagined like being a rock star ever since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of put that thought out of my mind because I was like, oh, that's impossible. That'll never happen. Um, but then when I got to CalArts, I was like, no, screw that. This is what I want.
Maybe it is possible.
And even if it's not possible, I'm still going to try and fight tooth and nail to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing, MJ. I don't know if you know, but uh, CalArts is literally a few minutes away from the studio I'm in.
I know, because you guys are up in Santa Clarita, right?
Yeah. Did you, when you went to CalArts, did you live on campus or did you
I
have an
did.
apartment or you did?
I lived on campus. I sublet because I was only there for 2 years. So during the school year, I lived on campus. And then in the summer between, I
Mm-hmm.
subletted an apartment in a house
Yeah.
for those few months. Because I was like, why would I go back to Chicago? It's cold, even in the summer.
Were you telling me that at CalArts they let students walk around nude?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So the thing, all right. So the thing about that
What's that all about?
So they didn't want artists who are putting on plays and stuff or doing performance art to feel restricted or have to jump through hoops in order to have nudity in their performances.
Sure.
So they like put it in their clause, like, hey, like if you want to have nudity, have nudity. So some students like take advantage of that.
Okay.
And will like walk around campus naked or will walk across the graduation stage naked. One of my old roommates walked with just a snare drum shell around his waist and suspenders.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. I've seen many naked people walk across that graduation stage. Also, there's a pool, and a lot of students like to go to that pool naked. And, you know, it is what it is.
So it was mainly for performances only in class.
Yeah, but people like to take advantage.
Oh boy.
Like there's been some gallery nights where people were just like walking around naked and like, okay, I'm going to look at your eyes when we're talking.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's a thing.
So, okay. Well, you did graduate from CalArts.
Yes.
Right? And you got your bachelor's, master's,
MFA, Masters of
MFA.
Fine Arts. And I got my bachelor's at Elmhurst College, which is now known as Elmhurst University, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the name change is for. And then I got my bachelor's in music theory composition from them. And before that, I went to a junior college and I was just like one credit away from getting my associates there. Mm-hmm. But at that point, I was like I still walked with the intention of like taking that course over the summer. Yeah. And then like that course didn't happen or something. But I was like, I'm already transferring at this point. I'll just take that class.
Right. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Now, was there always support from your parents and your family, your immediate family, in wanting to become a professional working musician, or were there setbacks?
There was pretty much always support, but financially, like I don't come from money at all. I had to work for everything that I had, and even growing up, like there was times where I was like, I need guitar strings because I broke one. We can't afford guitar strings, so I only have 4 guitar strings on my guitar at this time, and you know I made it work. So financially there were setbacks, but, you know, you managed to work through those things. Like, when I was going to Harper, I was still living at home because that was a junior university. So they didn't have dorms, things like that. Yeah. But like my last year, my family, was really struggling financially. So I had to move out of my parents' house. My sister and I rented a duplex together. Because my parents, the original plan was they were going to leave the state, but they, you know, through a series of events, they ended up staying, but they had to move into a different place. So while I was in my last year at Harper, I was in this duplex with my sister. And then when it came time for me to go to Elmhurst, I was like, I'm just going to live on campus. Yeah. My parents ended up moving into what was called a coach home at the time. So like on the weekends, I would stay with them. But during the school week, I was at Elmhurst because I still worked in the area where they lived on the weekends. So I like did not sleep at all during my undergrad. I have no idea how I did it. Like there was some weeks where I got maybe 2 hours of sleep on the weekend. Because,
a lot of coffee and top
I worked
ramen.
A graveyard shift.
Oh, gosh. What were you doing for work at the time?
So I had like 2 to 3 jobs usually.
At the same time?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Yep, I've done that.
Yeah. So I was working full time at the church that I grew up at. I was a janitor there. I was working graveyard shifts. I would start at like 9 p.m. and wake up and get off at 7:30 in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. And sometimes I would go straight from work to a full day of class. But I was like, that's what I have to do in order to pay for college.
Yep.
So I
Did
did
you did
that.
uh-huh.
And then I also, taught guitar and violin lessons. And I did that like 1 to 2 days a week. And then I also was like, I had a couple jobs through the school that I was at.
Mm-hmm.
So like at Harper, I was the music lab assistant, which basically meant I just sat in the music lab and helped people with their homework.
Yeah.
And then at Elmhurst, I set up and tore down rehearsals for the orchestra. And I also like made copies of sheet music and stuff for the
Yeah.
reversals.
And you know theory. You know music theory. You can write, right?
I'm a big nerd.
You can And Marcelo, I remember he invited me over once and he was like giving me just a basic lesson in like music theory. And I swear it was in through one ear, out the other. It's like learning a whole new language. I thought it was difficult.
A lot of people do. I used to think like it still is difficult just because it's a lot to remember.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, it's like learning another language,
Yeah.
Some people, you speak Spanish and English. You
Mm-hmm.
have to remember all those words in Spanish, and then you have to remember all the words in English. It's the same with music theory. There's a list
Mm-hmm.
of rules that you have to follow, and, it's a lot to remember. But the tricky thing about music theory is it is just theory. And there's different theories. There's different iterations of the same thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
in Eastern cultures, they use a completely different scale and a completely different theoretical system than Western music.
Yeah.
And rules can be broken and you can change things because also the ear wants what it wants. And as we continue as a society, our ear is more willing to accept different things.
Mm-hmm. What is that? What? I can't remember. What was one of the like the Eastern kind of sounds, or like yeah? Well, or I meant scale.
Pentatonic scale or the
Oh, is that?
semi-chromatic scale or semitone scale. Pentatonic scale is probably like the most common one. It's used a lot in Eastern music. It's a really
Uh-huh.
cool scale. We use it in Western music as well. A lot of guitar players do because it doesn't have any leading tones or thirds in it. So it's not major or minor. It kind of exists on its own.
Is that
And
where don't blues musicians use pentatonic
mhm.
scale?
Blues musicians do use the pentatonic scale quite a bit. They also use what's called a blues scale, which is more of a modal scale. If I
Uh-huh.
remember correctly, I could be totally wrong in saying this, but it's like a Dorian scale, which is just a minor scale with a flat six
Gotcha.
or a raised six. Minor
Can
scale with a raised six.
um yeah. um Tell me about your music collection, your guitar collection.
The
How many
guitars, I have a lot of them.
how many total do you have?
I have 15.
15.
I have 10 in my studio here, and then 3 of them are still in Chicago. Or
Uh-huh.
no, yeah, 2 of them are still in Chicago at my parents' house.
Which guitar will you never ever get rid of? What's the one you hold most dear to you?
All of them?
If there was a fire, MJ, if there was a fire, you could grab one guitar.
No, I'm counting 3 at least.
Which one? Quick, there's a fire. That one.
Well, so I keep the crown jewels hanging up around over my bed. And that's my Les Paul, my classical guitar, and the Taylor. I also love my SG.
Uh,
I probably play this one every day. So
which one do you play live with usually?
that would be my Les Paul custom, the white Les
Gotcha.
Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
What?
either play that one or I'll play the white SG.
Uh-huh.
Um, I like the Les Paul custom is the guitar that I've always wanted and never thought that I would be able to have. So
Uh-huh.
when I brought it home, I literally cried. I was just so happy. Um, and because that guitar is like what it is, I was able to eliminate a pedal off of my pedal board. So if
Yeah.
I play with my SG, I have to put it back on. But if I'm playing with my Les Paul, then I just need the 3 pedals.
And when you're writing music, especially your own, um where where do you find inspiration from? Because I you know I again I don't know theory. I do know how to play, but when it came to like music writing for myself, it was really tough, especially lyrics. I could put
Mhm.
some chords together and kind of know what sounds good, but when it came to lyrics, it was like probably the most difficult things.
Um, I get an inspiration from anywhere. And for somebody who finds it hard to write lyrics, I'd recommend just articulating either like I'm a huge fan of talking out loud to myself.
Hmm.
Like talk to yourself out loud and hear what sounds good, feel what vowels and things sound and feel good in your mouth.
Hmm.
Um, that was something that I actually picked up through osmosis, through listening to Sum 41. Because in an interview, Derek was like, I don't really like writing lyrics, so I just write things that sound and feel good in my mouth when I'm saying it. And one of the
Oh,
biggest critiques that I get back when people look at my lyrics or they hear my songs, they're like, it feels good in your mouth. And then I
yeah.
heard that interview and I was like, oh, I must have picked it up through listening to them. Um, you don't have to get overly complicated with saying how you feel.
Yeah.
Um, Mark Twain says the most powerful stories are told with the least amount of words.
Huh.
And I like to take that into my songwriting a lot. And again, it kind of goes back to when I was a kid and I was writing down my favorite songs. And I was like, these are the lyrics that I like. Why do I like them? Because I like the imagery that they used here. I liked this. I like the way they strung this together.
Yeah.
And that was like a good way for me to study. When I was studying composition, one of the first things that my teacher had me do was take Bach chorales and rewrite them
What is
just
that?
so I could. A Bach chorale is like it's a vocal thing. So
Hmm.
you have soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and you
Yeah.
just it's the chords, it's the choral moving together.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so um my teacher had me rewrite everything so I could see how each voice was working and functioning together.
Hmm.
And then he would give me 2 chords every week and he goes, write something just going back and forth between those 2 chords in SATB. Just do that.
Wow.
So when it comes to writing lyrics, my advice would be don't overcomplicate it.
Hmm.
Say what you want, how you feel. You can always rewrite it to fit like the syllabuses
Yeah.
of, sibilants. That's the word I'm trying to find. Within like the chord progression, you can take a word out here and there to make it fit. But the most powerful lyrics are the ones where you're using your own voice. You're not trying to write like somebody
Someone
else.
else. Yeah.
So you take what you like from other people and you
Hmm.
make it your own.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that quote? Good artists copy, great artists steal. But then you
Yes.
but then you make it your own. Like
Yeah.
I guess it kind of comes down to the same thing like when it comes to like script writing. I think it was Taika Waititi that said uh a bad written script is better than no written script at all.
Yeah.
As long as you have it written down, then you can just work from it instead of just saying, "Oh, I want to write something. I want to write something,"
Yeah.
and never write it.
Yeah. I mean, it's with anything, like, you write something, you're like, oh, this sucks, but I got that one bad song out of the way, so the next one can get better. You improve upon it every time. It's just like, if you're an athlete, you practice your sport every day, you're not going to play at the same level every time, because you're going to find the things that are like, oh, if I move my arm in this way, or if I pick my foot up a little bit more, I can run faster, I can make this jump better. It's the same with a musician. If I practice this drum roll, eventually it's going to get faster and faster and faster, because my muscles are going to get stronger.
Right.
The brain is a muscle, and society needs to learn to flex it a little bit more. Just like
you're telling me. Yeah, I find it also, like, when it comes to joke writing as well, I'm never of the opinion to like throw away a joke. I always think that there's something funny in everything, even if it's the darkest thing.
Sometimes those are the funniest things.
Yeah, and sometimes they are the funniest things. So yeah, like I've looked back at like my journal and looked back at like old jokes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, writing down that thought I had. And then I'll look back and go, okay, like what can be funny about this? Or, there's a reason why I thought it. There's a reason, like, I found something funny in it. But then maybe I had forgotten what it was, or maybe I just didn't think it was a strong enough joke, so I didn't, continue with it. But then looking back, I'm like, I written down for a reason. Yeah, anyway, so, and when you're writing music, do you find yourself writing the music first or the lyrics, or is it a mix of both?
It changes every time. Sometimes it'll all hit me at the same time. And and my body's just trying to keep up with my brain.
Yeah, totally.
Like, one of my old friends, Lou, we used to take classes together at CalArts, and I would just sit in class, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, and I'd get my notebook out and I would just write a song. And he's like, and they would be like, well, there she goes again. Just writing a new song. Because I would think of an idea for a few days and I'd be like, I have this idea, but I'm not really sure how to execute it yet. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, there it is. And I would just have to write it down. And I just have to keep up with it. And sometimes the lyrics inform where the music is going to go, and vice versa. I sometimes, like, when I was going through all my stuff last year, a lot of people were like, oh man, you're going to write some really good music now. You're going to write some really good music, which, first off, that's a lot of freaking pressure. And also, like, yeah, there was a couple tunes that I wrote, and they're actually on my release schedule. I'm going to work on recording them here soon.
Okay.
But I was also at a point where I was like, I don't really have anything to say, but I just want to play my guitar. I just want to write some music. And so I came up with some riffs and some instrumental stuff. Maybe I'll put out just an instrumental EP or something like that.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. I'm still toying with that idea.
A mix of the classical and pop punk, perhaps.
Perhaps.
If you can, you are one of the biggest nerds I know. If you can, if you're comfortable with saying, I always like to ask artists about any like horror stories they've had. Maybe it's they're an actor in a play and it goes wrong, or you're a musician in a band and something happens when you're on tour. And do you have a story you can share?
Well, so I was 2 or 3 years ago now. I was playing a classical guitar show, and for your listeners who are not aware, classical guitarists use their nails on instead of picks in order to create the tone. And I was playing a flamenco piece that required a really heavy bass thumb nail. And just before I got on my flight to Chicago, like I was filing my nail because I'm like, I can tell it's cracked because like it sounds different. It sounds different. Like I'm, again, super nerdy and crazy. So I'm like, I can hear the difference. So I was like filing my nail and I accidentally filed it too short. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get on a plane. I always break a nail when I fly. So I'm going to put a fake one on. So I was wearing a fake thumbnail and it was working and I practiced with it all week after I landed. I get on stage and I do what's called a rasgueado, which is just like, put it up. My thumbnail went flying off. And I was like, oh, shoot. Well, here we go.
Did it hit someone? Did it like, ow, did it hit someone in the eye or something in the audience?
The audience was far enough away that it didn't hit anybody, but like, I'd have to look back at that footage, but I wonder if you can see like a nail fly up as I'm playing. And one of the other guys, like, because after I went, one of the other guys like had to move the chair to get set for the next artist. He found my nail and he brought it.
Here you go.
And he's like, here, I have some crazy glue. I glued it back on for the rest of the
Nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my. Did it affect your playing? It did, right? Because that was the nail you used for. Oh,
I made it work, of course, and I've gotten to a point. So right now, because of the treatment that I just went through, I'm dealing with having very brittle nails, and it's very hard for me to grow them out. I'm taking vitamins to try and help strengthen that back up, as recommended by my doctor. So my nails are very short right now, but I've managed to. I realized I'm like, oh, I've been playing for so long that I can even make a short nail work for me. That like it's better with long nails. It's easier with long nails, but I can still make this work. So,
oh god,
other classical guitarists out there, you will get there. Or do you have any tips for helping me with this?
Oh no. Do you how about when you're on tour with your band? Have you ever, I don't know, dealt with like a promoter
We've only really
that
done local shows? So like we don't have like the horror band going on tour stories. Like we've had it happen. Like we got to a venue and Bill was also going to be running sound for that night. And he forgot his iPad that controlled the MX32. So, but like he lived down the street, so he was able to go into his car and like drive and pick it up so that we had sound for that night. I mean, this past weekend I was playing at my friend's wedding in Baltimore. And I was flying with my violin and I brought a wireless system and I was working with the DJ, and that got a little messed up because I was supposed to have backing tracks that I was playing with. And so I was communicating with one DJ all week and I sent him everything, my set list, backing tracks, everything. Get to the day of the wedding and it turns out that there was a different DJ doing the outside ceremony and then one doing the inside reception. The guy who was doing the outside ceremony didn't have any of my backing tracks for the processional. So I had to play that whole set without it. And I didn't realize until I was like up there, people were sitting down. I'm like, play the tracks, play the tracks, man, play the tracks. And he's like, I don't have them. And I'm like,
oh gosh.
and
but you improvised it.
I had him in my phone, but again, everybody was sitting down. So for me to like
Yeah.
sit there and like send them all to him would have been too
Oh
much.
gosh. There was no like connection or like Bluetooth or some sort of like dongle or
No, because again, like
oh man.
he also didn't have my set list. And it wasn't in order in my phone because I just had the files.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So it was a mess. But
But
you
you
know
made it
what? It
work.
was still a beautiful wedding and it was a great time. And I was like, okay. And I said, like in my microphone, I'm like, I'm supposed to have backing tracks. I guess I'm doing this acoustic now. Please bear with me. Yeah. Ave Maria.
I have a similar story where I was my cousin Abraham, he's a teacher at a elementary school, and he got all the parents together to come up with some money, and they hired me to play the Grinch for their like Christmas. They had like a Christmas talent show. There was a couple
Mm-hmm.
different classrooms that like sang different Christmas songs and carols, and I came in, fully dressed up as the Grinch, had the prosthetic, had the makeup and everything, and I told him beforehand, I was like, hey, this is the song that I'm going to sing to, but it's this one specifically. And I sent it to him. He's like, okay. And I get there, I'm interacting with the students, and I'm on stage, and they're doing their thing, and it comes to my turn, it comes to my song, and it's the same song, but it's just a completely different
Yeah.
version. It was not the one I had, rehearsed, but thankfully I come from studying improv where I just was like,
Yeah.
all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with it, and it turned out all right. I wanted to ask you though, tell me about your love for Portillo's and tell people what that is.
All right. So Portillo's is a Chicago thing. It's like Italian beef, burgers, and Chicago hot dogs, and some of the best salads you'll ever have in your life. um, it started in Chicago. My grandma actually was the one who created the recipe for the sweet peppers that go on the Italian beef.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
And she gave it to them, or they?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So, like it was my Dick Portillo and my grandma were friends back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was my dad's first job. My aunts and uncles also worked there at some point. So it's very nostalgic for me to go to Portillo's.
Yeah.
And um there's one here in LA, or it's in Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we went to it.
Yeah. So like on a shift, I took you there and I'm like, I got to take you to Portillo's. We're going to be in Buena Park. You have to experience Portillo.
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell that was. I had
It's
never
so
heard of it
good.
until you told me about it. It
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah. Like I'm gluten intolerant, so I have to get everything like without bread, but it's still good.
Oh, wait. Do you get what happens if you do have gluten? Do you just get sick?
I get really sick. I have to go to the bathroom, and sometimes I can't
Oh,
leave the bathroom.
yeah.
Your listeners don't need to hear about that.
They need to know every personal detail about you. Uh, oh, I was gonna say when I was listening to your EP this morning, I was thinking about one of my favorite shows. They've been around for like 20. I think today, September 10th, they celebrate their 25th anniversary. Having their show in LA. They're Heidi and Frank, and they're on KLOS, the classic rock station. And every Friday they have this segment called "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" And they have local artists who they send out their record to their EP, and if they get selected, they get to be featured on that segment. Should I stay or should I go? And you get to pick two songs. You get to pick your first one, and they listen to it and they judge it, and obviously their listeners can send in text messages and vote. If you get pass on all 5 votes from all 5 people that are on the show, they let you play your second song. And I totally thought was like, MJ should totally do this. You have like at least 1 or 2 songs on your second EP that I think are like very radio friendly. I think you would.
Thank you.
That you should submit to.
I'll have to look into that. I would definitely be down to do that.
Yeah, I'll send you. Yeah, I'll send you the link to that site that you could send it to. But I was telling Marcelo the same thing.
Yeah, Marcelo's amazing.
He is.
He's such a gifted songwriter and vocalist. I'm actually trying. He's been on tour with Neon Trees.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets some downtime, I want to bring him over here and record some stuff with him.
Yeah, you guys definitely have to collaborate on stuff together. But yeah, Marcelo is I've always admired him when it came to like just his, vocal ability, his, songwriting ability. I've just always been so amazed by his talent. But yeah, Marcelo and I met, we were 15 or 16, and there was this thing at our school called Cafe de Chez. And our school was so big that they divided the lunches in 2. So you had lunch A, lunch B. And Cafe de Chez would be open for both lunches, and they had a stage, and students would be able to like perform. And so one of my first shows with Marcelo was the Beatles tribute, and we all kind of had our hair in the bowl cut.
That's the picture that you.
That's the picture, yeah.
On his birthday.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and he had his, Paul McCartney violin, bass, and we had the whole getup.
Yep. Yeah, you guys were cute kids.
Emphasize on the were. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you if you have any music coming out soon, or if you're performing anytime soon.
So I had to take a step back from performing because of my health last year, and I'm still not 100% just yet. So but Rock Show should be coming soon. But as far as things being released, I would say keep an eye out for an announcement in October, because we are going to be shooting a music video, and we are hoping to release it by Halloween, but it all depends on if we can get our act together in time to do it all. And I am in the studio recording some stuff that should be starting to release in January.
Hell yeah. Is this going to be another EP, or is it going to be a full
You have to wait and see.
Record? Oh, okay.
You have to wait and see.
Hey, and if you need an actor, I know you can give a call.
Yeah, I know a few as well.
Oh, wait, actually, tell me about real quick, tell me about recording this last music video. I remember I was supposed to be in it, but something with work came up, and I was so bummed out that I couldn't go. But it looked like you had a bunch of coworkers from SAR in the video.
Basically, just calling all my friends and being like, "Hey, come do this music video. Well, I'll give you a free concert in exchange." And pizza.
Was it a pretty easy thing to shoot, or were there some difficulties?
We definitely had roadblocks that we had to, go through, because when we were looking for a location, initially we found this house and we're like, oh, this would be perfect. We love this location. It'd be exactly what we need. Then the host for that house was being really, really difficult and denied our request, because we found the locations through a website called Peerspace.
Yeah, I know Peerspace. Yep.
And on there they have their minimums. This person didn't indicate that there was a minimum of 2 days that they wanted you to shoot. I'm like, we only need the space for a day for like a 6 to 8 hour shoot. Like we don't need it any longer than that. And they were being like really difficult. And eventually, we just got to a point where like I canceled the request because I was like, you know, if it's going to be this difficult just to book this space, like I don't want to continue to try.
Yeah, because who knows? Yeah, how else they'll be in the process of it all.
Yeah. And like we found a couple houses where we're like, oh man, this place would be perfect. And like it wasn't available. Somebody else was shooting there. But we found the location that we found, and we were like, we can make this space work. And then like other roadblocks that we ran into, originally, my good friend was supposed to be the star in this music video, but their place that they're contracted to perform in scheduled a rehearsal the same day of the shoot. So I was like, okay, found a new actor. Then similar thing happened. So like a week before, my friend Layla, she's like, oh, I'm so excited for the shoot. And I was like, hey, do you want a bigger role?
You could be in it.
And there was also supposed to like the person that was playing her boyfriend on set was actually supposed to be there. They were supposed to actually have a fight on set. But the person that we got to play her boyfriend, they were no longer available, and like everybody was like falling through. So we had to change it. So it was a phone call instead. And the first couple of takes, I went in the bathroom and I was on the phone with her, and I was like pretending to fight with her so that she had something to like go off
to
of
work with.
And eventually she's like, I think I got this. And like totally improv most of what she did. And Layla was a true MVP for that whole shoot. She was great. And then extras, we were expecting a lot more extras, but you know, similar to what happened with you, like people didn't get out of work on time, things came up. But honestly, that music video, I'm really proud of it. And I'm really excited for how it turned out. And the people that showed up, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And I like to look at that music video and be like, yeah, we did that. And the next one's going to be even better.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that feeling when you, put all your heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into a project. And then it just, you know, some things don't work out, but then eventually it does kind of work out for the best. And then you look back and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Came out great.
Yeah.
Do you have for the listeners, where can we find your music at?
I'm on all your favorite streaming sources. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it. I'm on there. Just search MJ LaVine.
And your music videos are on YouTube, right?
YouTube, yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm trying to get more active on the TikToks. So I've been posting a video there every day, and it's usually just like a practice video or me playing.
Yeah, I like those. I like those reels that you do. I think that's a great idea. And I've been telling Marcelo about that too. I was like, dude, create, reels of, you playing or talking about equipment or just music in general. And that can help you in the long run, build a fan base and audience members to come out to shows. Yeah.
I recently went on a trip for the bachelorette weekend for my friend who just got married, and one of her friends really encouraged me. She said, "You should do TikTok. I think you'd be really good at it, and it'd be a really good way to promote your music." I'm like, honestly, what do I have to lose? Okay,
literally nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing guitar anyway.
Well, all right, mi amiga, it's been a fun hour getting to know you more, and I hope all the best for you and your future endeavors with music. Don't stop creating, don't give up, and I will talk to you and see you soon. Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, MJ LaVine. Music by Mark Fabian, produced and engineered by Robert Altschiller, recorded at Command Recording Studio. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at command_recording_studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.